came in black as rain, with iron in my coat. The moon hung like a verdict over every broken road. My hands knew older weather than the saints could ever name. I kept my head low, let the cold remember my face. There was smoke in the margin and a mark on my tongue. The devils in the rafters sang low, one by one. I did not ask for mercy, I did not ask to be made clean. I only heard my footsteps like a witness in a dream. Ashes on my coat, ashes on my coat. I walk where judgment goes, I walk where judgment goes. Stone by stone I know, stone by stone I know. Ashes on my coat, ashes on my coat. I saw a judge in daylight, with a face like carved wood. He weighed my name in silence, and I stood where I stood. No trembling in my temper, no sweet talk in my throat. Just a knife for plain truth and a cold hand on the road. The river kept on moving like it carried a secret. The crows above the cotton looked like they had seen it. I wore my pride like armor, I wore my grief like dust. What I left behind me was the kind of thing that rusts. Ashes on my coat, ashes on my coat. I walk where judgment goes, judgment goes. Stone by stone I know, stone by stone by stone I know, stone by stone. Ashes on my coat, ashes on my coat. I met the night in passing at the edge of a field. It called me by my first sin, then it let the dark reveal that every man is measured by the weight he does not show, and every hidden wound leaves a footprint in the snow. Ashes on my coat, ashes on my coat. I walk where judgment goes, I walk where judgment goes. Stone by stone I know, stone by stone by stone I know, stone by stone. Ashes on my coat, ashes on my coat. past midnight's gate, my name in my teeth. Black coat, split hem, dust on the seam. No saint in my pockets, no coin for the dead. Just a hard little hour and a thorn in my head. The moon looked like iron over busted stone. I kept my counsel, I kept it alone. A dog barked once, then swallowed its sound. Even my shadow would not look around. There was ash on the lintel, salt on the floor, a warning in the timber, and blood by the door. I knew that house like a man knows his chain. It had my old sin on a cold iron pane. I wear my judgment like a folded knife. I keep my silence like I keep my life. No cry for mercy, no angel sign, just the long black road and the weight of mine. I wear my judgment, I wear it low, stone in my mouth and a steady slow blow. No cry for mercy, no borrowed light, just the long black road in the dead of night. I've seen kings get naked by the crack of dawn, seen lies bless their own graves and call it bygone. I learned the hard way what the river keeps. It takes a proud man and it leaves him deep. There's a mark in the plaster where the smoke once clung, a name half hidden by an iron tongue. I touched that wall and it turned to chill, like the Lord himself had gone quiet still. So I stood in the doorway with a hand on the frame, no plea on my lips, no hunger for shame. If the book was open, then let it stay. I've got my answer in the marrow way. I wear my judgment like a folded knife. I keep my silence like I keep my life. No cry for mercy, no angel sign, just the long black road and the weight of mine. I wear my judgment, I wear it low, stone in my mouth and a steady slow blow. No cry for mercy, no borrowed light, just the long black road in the dead of night. There was a child in the rafters with a candle gone blue, said every guilty man gets visited too. Then the room went older than any grave, and I heard my own breath like a lock in a cave. I bowed to nothing, I named no fear. Just let that silence come near, come near. I wear my judgment like a folded knife. I keep my silence like I keep my life. No cry for mercy, no angel sign, just the long black road
and the weight of mine.
I wear my judgment,
I wear it low, stone in my mouth,
and a steady slow blow.
No cry for mercy,
No borrowed light, just the long black road in the dead of night. I rose with the dawn in black, dust on my cuffs, blood in my name. The gate kept shut, the road stayed long, and every mile knew my shame. I carried my face like a knife, kept my mouth shut, kept my hands still. The moon wrote judgment on my back. The night was cold, and it will. I do not ask for rain, I do not ask for grace. I took the weight in silence and wore it on my face. The ground still knows what my hands became. The ground still knows I carry the mark of Cain. The ground still knows I walk the same, low and slow, under that name. No mother's cry in my ear, no altar fire to wash me clean, just a dry wind in the wheat and the long dark between. I met the law at the ford, stood like a stone in the flood. He looked through me and turned away, like he had seen my blood. I do not bow my head, I do not beg the sky. If I was made for this, then let it pass me by. The ground still knows what my hands became. The ground still knows I carry the mark of Cain. The ground still knows I walk the same, low and slow, under that name. There is a house in my bones, built with one hard word. It stands in the weather alone and answers to no hurt. If the righteous want my seat, they can keep their shining chair. I was born with a shadow, and I leave it there. The ground still knows what my hands became. The ground still knows I carry the mark of Cain. The ground still knows I walk the same, low and slow, under that name. dust on my cuffs. Midnight leaned hard, but it never said much. My name stayed buried like a knife in clay. I kept my counsel, I kept my way. The road behind me was a field of ash. Every step I took was a little less flesh. I wore my silence like a second skin. No plea in my mouth, no light within. The ledger waited with the final mark, cold as iron, deep in the dark. I heard no angels, I heard no roar, just my own breath at the chapel door. Remember me when the record comes. Remember me when the verdict drums. I had no future, so I asked for a kingdom. Remember me, remember me. The guilty and clean kneel under the same sky. One gets the crown, one gets the high. I saw men boasting with wine in their teeth. I had my burden, I kept it beneath. If the book was open, my line was thin, a borrowed hour and a ruin of sin. Still I stood upright in my borrowed grave, a heart I'd witnessed too late to save. The moon went pale over broken stone. I did not tremble, I did not moan. I spoke one sentence and left it there, like a nail in wood in the frozen air. Remember me when the record comes. Remember me when the verdict drums. I had no future, so I asked for a kingdom. Remember me, remember me. I was not holy, I was not pure. I was a debt with a locked up door. But a man can kneel without losing pride when the last hard road is the one inside. So write me down with the salt and rust, with the cracked old bones and the trail of dust. Remember me when the record comes. Remember me when the verdict drums. I had no future, so I asked for a kingdom. Remember me, remember me, yeah, remember me, remember me, for the breath I kept, remember me, for the ground I slept, remember me. I had no future, so I asked for a kingdom. Remember me, remember me. left with a name and a pocket full of pride, cut clean from the table. I took my steps too wide. The road took my boots, the night took my bread. I learned how to bow with a stone for a head. I wore my own hunger like iron on my skin. Every mile said stay gone, every wind said sin. Now the moon knows my heel print, the dust knows my coat. I have lived like a rumor with a thorn in my throat. No hands on my shoulder, no fire in sight, just a man in black wool and the bruise of the night. I left with a name and came back with dust, came back with dust and a little less trust. I left with a name and came back with dust. No prayer in my mouth, just judgment and rust. I crossed dry fields where the crows kept score, saw my own shadow leaning on every door. I ate hard silence from a broken bowl, kept my pride in my teeth, kept my shame in a hole. No king ever spared me, no friend lit the way. I learned how to stand in the ash of the day. Now the wind at my collar sounds like a name. I can hear it behind me, cold as a chain. I am lean as a candle, burned down to the pin. Still I walk with my ruin, and I wear it thin. I left with a name and came back with dust, came back with dust and a little less trust. I left with a name and came back with dust. No prayer in my mouth, just judgment and rust. If the Father is waiting, let him wait at the gate. I have carried my hunger and I have paid late. I do not ask mercy, I do not explain. I come as I am, in my dirt and my shame. I left with a name and came back with dust, came back with dust and a little less trust. I left with a name and came back with dust. No prayer in my mouth, just judgment and rust. Slept where the stone was sealed, cold on my tongue, no name. Martha left the lamp alone, and the dark kept count of days. I heard the moths in linen, I heard the water stop. Then a voice split the shuttered black and pulled my bones back up. He said my name like iron, like low in a narrow room. I rose with mud on my mouth and death still in my shoes. I came back breathing, but I did not come back the same. I came back breathing, with the grave still on my name. I came back breathing, quiet as a loaded blade. I came back breathing, and the living look away. The road felt older than prayer. Every wall knew my face. Dogs at the gate went still when I passed through the place. My hands were not for blessing, my eyes were not for tears. I wore that night like scripture, I wore the years like years. He said my name like thunder, soft through the winter air. I stood between the living and the dust that had me there. I came back breathing, but I did not come back the same. I came back breathing, with the grave still on my name. I came back breathing, quiet as a loaded blade. I came back breathing, and the living look away. I know the taste of nothing, I know the sound it keeps, the sealed place, the folded cloth, the long black mouth of sleep. So keep your crowns and candles, keep your clean white line. I walked out of the borrowed dark and left my shadow behind. I came back breathing, but I did not come back the same. I came back breathing, with the grave still on my name. I came back breathing, quiet as a loaded blade. I came back breathing, and the living look away. I said an ash black on my palms. My ribs were a gate for the wind to pass. The heavens were iron, the ground kept its word. I wore my old silence like a knife in a sleeve. No crown on my head, no tears in my mouth, just dust on my coat and a name in the dark. I called out once, then I held my breath. The night did not bend, the night just watched. I asked the sky, but the sky stayed still. I asked the sky, and it kept that will. Ashes and answers, ashes and answers. I stood my ground, and the dark stood still. They came with clean words, soft as fresh bread. They spoke of rewards with a dead man's grin. I let them talk, I let them lean. Their reasons were bright, but they bled too quick. I know what I lost, I know what remains. A man can be broken and still keep his face. So I kept my peace, I kept my bone. If truth was a witness, it knew where I'd gone. I asked the sky, but the sky stayed still. I asked the sky, and it kept that will. Ashes and answers, ashes and answers. I stood my ground, and the dark stood still. If I am weighed, let the scale be plain. If I am named, let the name stay hard. I will not kneel for a sweet made lie. I will not trade my wound for a song. I asked the sky, but the sky stayed still. I asked the sky, and it kept that will. Ashes and answers, ashes and answers. I stood my ground, and the dark stood still. With gold in my coat and a name that bent the door. I drank from 7 bright cups, still I wanted 7 more. I weighed the wise in my palm, I watched the strong look small. But every crown I touched turned to ash against the wall. I learned the earth keeps score, I learned the night keeps still. A man can own the river and thirst against the hill. I own the world and found it hollow, hollow. I own the world and found it hollow. The hand was full, the heart was bare. I owned the world and found it hollow. I kept my bread with the kings, I kept my bed with the proud. I heard my own praise rise like a blade inside a crowd. But wisdom sat by my door with dust upon her face. She said, you chase the wind and kissed a borrowed place. Now every lamp I lit goes dim beneath my name. The grave takes all the silver and leaves a man the same. I own the world and found it hollow. Hollow. I own the world and found it hollow. The hand was full, the hand was full, the heart was bare, the heart was bare. I own the world and found it hollow. Keep shining, let the drunkard claim his throne. I have walked the midnight stone, I have heard the bone speak bone. When judgment comes a-calling, I will not plead my case. I build my house on vapor and found my true face. Found it hollow. Night sits on my brow like ash on a knife. I wore the oil, I stained the wine. The door stayed open, the floor kept score. I walked past mercy and asked for more. Now the air is thin and the vows are small. I hear old names moving the wall. I do not kneel, I do not run, I only stand where the dark was done. The crown still shines with blood underneath. A crown still shines, I wear what I keep. A crown still shines, cold on my head. A crown still shines, the living and dead. I learned my kingdom from cracked white stone, from watched hands folding and bones left known. The shepherd's quiet, the prophet's eyes, they weighed my soul and wrote my sighs. I took the sign, I broke the bread. Now every blessing turns red in my hands. The sky was dry, the sea was still. My heart grew hard, then learned to feel. Not mercy first, not mercy last, just judgment walking straight through the past. The crown still shines with blood underneath. The crown still shines, I wear what I keep. The crown still shines, cold on my head. The crown still shines, the living and dead. No song can wash it, no ash can hide the blackened oath that stays inside. I am the king, and I am the cost, a man still standing for all he lost. A crown still shines with blood underneath. The crown still shines, I wear what I keep. The crown still shines, cold on my head. The crown still shines, the living and dead. I came down dusted in ash, with the night on my boots, 40 years in my hands, and a staff full of roots. I taught the weak to keep step through the bone-dry years. I wore their fear like iron, I swallowed my own tears. Then I saw it far off, green as a verdict, gold as a gate. Rivers lying still like a word I was never meant to taste. I led them home, but the door was not for me. I led them home, but the door was not for me. Stone in my mouth and fire in my knee. Oh, I led them home, but the door was not for me. I know the names of the hungry, the ones who turn to the calf. I know the weight of a people when the sky goes half. I kept my face to the ruin, kept my hands on the rock. I learned how mercy can walk with the hard foot of God. Then I saw it close enough to bruise a man's prayer. Olive hills in the dusk and a promise standing there. I led them home, but the door was not for me. I led them home, but the door was not for me. Stone in my mouth and fire in my knee. Oh, I led them home, but the door was not for me. So let the wind write my record on the ribs of the hill. Let the law keep its ledger. Let the dark stand still. I will not call for pardon. I will not bow low. I carried them to the border. That is all they need to know. I led them home, but the door was not for me. I led them home, but the door was not for me. Oh, dust on my tongue and wrath in the sea. I led them home, but the door was not for me. In black, past the butcher's door, mud on my hand, blood in my thoughts. The moon was thin, like a shaved down blade. I kept my name under my tongue. They called me proud, I called it stone. I wore my guilt like a second skin. No friend was near, no mercy came, just the cold hour and my own breath. I have been bent, I have been marked, still I stand in the dark. They took my eyes, but not my last prayer. They took my eyes. I stand alone, and I still swear. Not a word, not a word. They took my eyes, but not my last prayer. My last prayer. A woman's laugh, a roping hand, a temple fell like dry old bone. I felt the wall, I felt the dust, I felt the hand that broke my bones. They left me shamed, they left me dark, They left me here with iron taste, but I know the names of those who lied, and I know well what night will take. I have been bent, I have been marked, still I stand in the dark. They took my eyes, but not my last prayer.
They took my eyes.
I stand alone, and I still swear.
Not a word, not a word.
They took my eyes, but not my last prayer.
My last prayer.
Bring me the storm, bring me the chain. I have no tears for what they made. I was not born to kneel for long. I learned the weight of my own name. They took my eyes, but not my last prayer.
They took my eyes.
I stand alone, and I still swear.
Still I swear, still I swear.
They took my eyes, but not my last prayer.
My last prayer. I walked out black past the last locked gate. No saint in my mouth, no mercy on my face. The silver in my pocket clinked like a small dead prayer. I kept my eyes down, let the night take care. The moon stayed cold over every wall. I heard my name in the plaster crawl. The silver got heavy before the morning came. Heavy in my pocket, heavy in my shame. The silver got heavy before the morning came. The silver got heavy
before the morning came. I did my walking, and I took my name.
The silver got heavy
before the morning came. There were old stones watching from the roadside dust, a cracked bell saying what the living must. I knew that look, I wore it well. A man can carry heaven like a blade to hell. The river stayed low like a judge at rest. I held my silence close against my chest. The silver got heavy before the morning came. Heavy in my pocket, heavy in my shame. for the dead. I left my shadow by the butchered shed. If I was counted, I was counted right. A lonely hand in the grain of night. The silver got heavy before the morning came.
The silver got heavy
before the morning came. I did my walking and I took my name.
The silver got heavy
before the morning came. I took the narrow road with my coat pulled shut, black shoes on stone and a name in mud. No lamp in my hand, just a cold old weight. Silver in my pocket, like a private fate. The night kept score with a patient eye. I heard my own steps like a verdict nearby. The moon was thin, like a knife-edge gleam. I did not turn, I did not speak. The silver got heavy before the morning came. The silver got heavy and I wore that name. 30 pieces, cold in my hand. 30 pieces and dust in the land. I knew the bread, I knew the skin, I knew the room where the dark had been. No tears fell down, no plea was made, just a man in black with a debt to pay. The crows were quiet on the barren wall. Even the wind would not call my fall. The moon was thin, like a knife-edge gleam. I did not turn, I did not speak. The silver got heavy, before the morning came. The silver got heavy and I wore that name. 30 pieces, cold in my hand. 30 pieces and dust in the land. There is a room where the dead things stay, and every soft light goes stone gray. I carry my share like a locked up bell, no prayer on my tongue, your story to tell.
The silver got heavy, the silver got heavy.
Before the morning came,
Before the morning came,
the silver got heavy, and I wore that name.
I wore that name.
30 pieces, cold in my hand. 30 pieces, and dust in the land. I came in black with dust on my cuffs, midnight at my shoulder, and iron in my lungs. The tavern watched me like a judge in sleep. I kept my face still, I kept my oath deep. I know the weight of a borrowed name. I know the smoke that follows shame. I washed my hands, but the water turned dark. I washed my hands, and it kept my mark. I walked on cold with my head held low. I washed my hands, but I know palette in my shadow at the basin's edge, a clean white lie on a dirty pledge. The moon sat thin like a knife on bone. I left my truth where the crow flies home. Steel in the chest, dust in the prayer. A man can kneel and still stay there. I wash my hands, but the water turned dark. I washed my hands, and it kept my mark. I walked on cold with my head held low. I washed my hands, but I know let the stones keep count, let the crows decide. I wore my silence like a well-cut lie. No tears for the dead, no song for the proud, just this old burden and a low dark vow. I washed my hands, but the water turned dark. I washed my hands, and it kept my mark. I walked on cold with my head held low. I washed my hands, but I know
through ash and wheat, with coin dust on my palms. The men I knew were wolves in Sunday coats and calm. I saw the gold go blind, I saw the body bend, but I was a stranger to the man I would defend. I only knew the outline, a bruise through winter glass. The truth stood in my shadow, and I let it pass through the glass. I saw my face through the glass. I lost my place. I knew in part. I wore the smoke through the glass. I was the joke. The judge kept his soft hands clean. The thief kept counting prayer. The whore kissed every door frame like she was never there. I rode with bought-out promises and slept in borrowed sin, then heard my own name echo from the road I lived in. I only knew the outline, a bruise through winter glass. The truth stood in my shadow, and I let it pass through the glass. I saw my face through the glass. I lost my place. I knew in part. I wore the smoke through the glass. I was the joke.
Now midnight bird, now midnight bird, now midnight burns the riverbank.
Now midnight burns the riverbank, and every mask comes thin. The power, lust, and silver could not name the bone within. If I'm seen, let it be by mercy, not by pride. For what I knew was borrowed, and what I was denied. Through the glass, I saw my face. Through the glass, I lost my place. I knew in part.
I knew in part.
I wore the smoke
I wore the smoke
through the glass.
through the glass.
I was the joke through the glass.
Through the glass.
No more disguise through the glass. I've opened my eyes. I knew in part, but now I know through the glass. I let it go. wear the room like
like silk. Every eye comes near. I speak in silver folding, every doubt right here. My hands know every lock, my name knows every door. I leave no trace of hunger, I leave them wanting more. But under all that velvet, under all that gold, a man can fill the ledger and still come up cold. Without love, I'm only brass, sounding brass, and nothing lasts. Without love, I turn to dust. I win the room, but lose the trust. I have the patience of judges, the mercy of a blade. I can bless a broken kingdom, then watch the lantern fade. The poor man calls me father, the liar calls me friend. I answer with a perfect smile and perfect ends. Yet every word I polish, every vow I frame, falls like a coin in dark water, never staying the same. Without love, I'm only brass, sounding brass, and nothing less. Without love, I turn to dust. I win the room, but lose the trust. Death keeps a chair for everyone, it sets the place in bone. The last king drops his title and stands there all alone. So cut the gold from my tongue, cut the smoke from my coat. If love does not remain here, then I'm only notes. Without love, I'm only brass, sounding brass, and nothing less. Without love, I turn to dust. I win the room, but lose the trust. Let the proud man kneel in silence, let the hungry men confess. The last enemy is waiting, and love outlives the rest. In calm and tailored black, every room learns my name. I speak in gold, I speak in smoke, and still I leave the same. I know the code, I know the cut, I know the way men bend. But all that shine and all that law can turn to dust, my friend. I see in part like broken glass, a face behind the veil. The hand I raise, the truth I hide, the polished wreck I veil. Without love, I am smoked brass.
Without love,
just a hollow class. Without love, I ring and pass. Without love, I am smoked brass. I won the board, I own the room. I made the lies lean. My words were silk, my smile was steel, my record cold and clean. But in the dark where names grow thin and every crown comes loose, I hear the sound beneath my chest, a bell that has no use. For now I know the mirror speaks with no more grace than bone. We chase the face, we hold the case, but never claim the soul. Without love, I am smoked brass.
without love,
Just a hollow class. Without love, I ring and pass. Without love, I am smoked brass. Now I see dimly through the ashen glass. A man can own the night and still not last. I had the tongue, I had the proof, I had the bloodless art, but all my hands were made for dust until they learned a heart. Without love, I am smoked brass.
without love,
Just a hollow class. Without love, I ring and pass. Without love, I am smoked brass. I saw the room through a glass darkly, gold on the table, smoke in the air. I knew every face, but not what they wanted. I heard every prayer, but never cared. I thought I knew the shape of truth. I thought the mirror told it clean. But every man who lives in shadow learns the dark can also see. Through a glass darkly, I saw the world go by, silk, all silver, all borrowed light. I had the name, I had the room, I had the night in my hand, but I never saw myself, never saw myself as a man. I spoke like a king with a beggar's hunger, made peace with the devil, then called it control. I wore my pride like a black coat tailored, but it never did fit around my soul. They said I had the kind of eyes that never turned away, but I was blind in better clothes and dressed it up as faith. Through a glass darkly, I saw the world go by, all smoke, all scripture, all borrowed light. I had the name, I had the room, I had the night in my hand, but I never saw myself, never saw myself as a man. Now the glass is quiet and the room is still. No angels talking, no blood to spill. Just one old shadow with a whiskey low, asking the darkness, what did you know? Through a glass darkly, I saw the world go by, all dust, all thunder, all borrowed light. I had the name, I had the room, I had the night in my hand, but I never saw myself, never saw myself as a man. Now I know in part, and I speak in smoke. Some men find truth when the mirror broke. They cut the rope at dawn, and my hands stayed clean. The alley held its breath when they called my name. I stood in the dust like I belonged there, iron in my mouth, oil on my skin. A stranger took the blame, and I walked on past the stone-faced guards, past the staring lamps. No trumpet for the spare, no song for the spare, just a door creaking open
and the crowd moving back. The man they let go, the man they let go. I wore that mercy like a blade in my coat. The man they let go, the man they let go. One man went under, and I kept my breath. Jerusalem at night tasted like old ash. My boots knew every lie on the road back home. Merchants shut their eyes, dogs kept to the walls. I heard his silence behind my every step. I was free by law,
Bound by the bone,
bound by the bone,
bound by the bone.
a guilty man in daylight, a king of the dust. No chain on my wrist, just the weight of it. No trumpet for the spare, no song for the spare. Just a door creaking open, and the crowd moving back. The man they let go, the man they let go. I wore that mercy like a blade in my coat. The man they let go, the man they let go. One man went under, and I kept my breath. If I speak his name, it splits the room. If I close my eyes, I see the stones. I see their hands, I see mine too. Still warm from the sun, still wet with proof. The man they let go, the man they let go, the man they let go, the man they let go. I wore that mercy like a blade in my coat. Oh, the man they let go, the man they let go, the man they let go, the man they let go. One man went under, and I kept my breath. I walk free, but not light, not clean, not clean. They opened the gate for me like a bad prayer gone thin. Hands on my name like knives, and I walked right in. Dust on my heel bones, blood in the morning air. A man went out for me, and I was spared out there. I felt the crowd go quiet, I heard the choice getting made. One man kept his innocence, one man took my shade. Barabbas walks free, Barabbas walks free. The stones know my feet, and they do not speak. Barabbas walks free, Barabbas walks free. I carry the cost like a blade in my sleeve.
Midnight in a rented room, wine gone dark in the cup. I wash my hands in silence, but the stain stayed up. No woman in my doorway, no mercy in my bed, only the sound of a rope in the back of my head. I hear that other breathing, I see that vacant crown, the one they left in shadow, the one they brought down. Barabbas walks free, Barabbas walks free. The stones know my feet, and they do not speak. Barabbas walks free, Barabbas walks free. I carry the cost like a blade in my sleeve. I am the wrong one alive, the chosen stain in the clay. I pass through every doorway, and the salt turns gray. No hymn can rinse this hour, no moon can make me clean. I live inside the verdict, and the verdict lives in me. Barabbas walks free, Barabbas walks free. The stones know my feet, and they do not speak. Barabbas walks free, Barabbas walks free. I carry the cost like a blade in my sleeve. I keep my coat on the chair, like I might leave, but I don't. Half a glass full of cold years, I drink it straight, let it burn slow. You asked me once what I want, I said less noise, more truth. I learned about the storm, then stand there looking through. I don't chase what's fading, I don't beg what's gone. If the road has named me, I keep walking on. No apology, that's all I am. No apologies, I take my stand. If fate wants me, it knows my face. No apologies, I leave my trace. There's a clock on the wall that can't scare me tonight. I've made peace with the dark, and it learned my suit fits right. I've held my breath in the room when the room went cold. Now I wear my silence like a ring of gold. I don't chase what's fading, I don't beg what's gone. If the road has named me, I keep walking on. No apologies. That's all I am. That's all I am. No apology. No apology. I take my stand. Oh, if fate wants me, if fate wants me, it knows my face. It knows my face. No apologies. I'll leave my trace. Let the door stay open, let the rain come in. I was born with a shadow, and I made peace with him. He says, keep your head up. I say, watch me now. No one gets my ending till I lay it down. No apologies. No apologies. That's all I am. That's all I am. No apology. No apology. I take my stand. Oh, if fate wants me, if fate wants me, it knows my face. No apologies. I leave my trace.
I walked in late where the lights hang low, black coat dripping from the midnight snow. Bartender knows I don't talk too much, just pour it clean and leave the bottle closed. They say I changed, I say I survived. There are ghosts in my glass, but they still call me alive. No apologies after midnight, no prayers for the man I became. I don't beg for love, I don't run from fire, I don't answer when they speak my name. Raise that whiskey to the cold light, let the choir drag the truth through the smoke. I lost my fear somewhere down the line, and I buried my shame with my hope. Women came trying to save my soul, men shook hands while they dug my hole. I learned real fast what a smile can hide. Now I keep my heart on the darker side. Don't mistake my silence for peace, don't mistake my calm for weak. I have burned in rooms with no way out. Now even hell don't bother me. No apologies after midnight, no mercy, no debt, no change. I drink slow while the world keeps talking, but I don't feel a damn thing change. Raise that whiskey to the cold light, let the choir take the last refrain. I was born again in the wreckage, and I came back without a name. used to fold in the doorway like rain on a cheap suit sleeve. Used to let every hard word find a place to stay in me. But I learned what a bruise can teach, and I learned what a name can hide. Now I keep my hurt in the pocket with the keys and the blade inside. So if you see me stand still, that's not fear, that's a vow. I have made my peace with the damage, and I wear it different now. I walk in like thunder, no apology. I walk in like thunder, that's what life made of me. Black suit, stone heart, cold eyes, open door. Cold eyes, open door. I don't ask for mercy, I don't beg anymore.
I don't beg anymore.
I don't chase what turns to smoke. I don't call what won't stay warm. If the room goes quiet around me, good, that's the shape of the storm. They can call me hard as iron, call me difficult, call me mean. I just paid with my softer pieces till the man in me came clean. So if you hear me speaking low tones, don't mistake that for defeat. Some men crack and keep on smiling, some men learn to stand on teeth. I walk in like thunder, no apology. I walk in like thunder, ah, that's what life made of me. Black suit, stone heart,
Cold eyes, open door.
cold eyes, open door. I don't ask for mercy, I don't beg anymore.
I don't beg anymore.
Let them keep their polished faces, let them keep their easy lives. I have slept with the truth in ruins and come out with clearer eyes. Every scar on my hand says I live, every silence says I'm free. I was broken into something harder, and that is enough for me. I walk in like thunder, no apology. I walk in like thunder, that's what life made of me. Black suit, stone heart,
Cold eyes, open door.
cold eyes, open door. I don't ask for mercy, I don't beg anymore. I walk in like thunder, let the whole room know I don't need forgiveness,